ground zero in this humanitarian crisis, and much of it looks like a scrap heap. The destruction is almost complete. About 80% of the buildings have been destroyed. Antoine Louis is a farmer now unable to feed even his family. I've lost all the food in my house, he says. We've nothing to cook, and we're starving. The relief effort is still being hampered by the floodwaters that have cut off the southwest of the country. But as more roads become passable and more coastal communities are reached, the number of dead keeps on rising. Not just the hurricane and the after effects of the 2010 earthquake that Haiti is confronting. It's also in the grip of a cholera epidemic spread by contaminated water that over the past 6 years has killed 10,000 people. Aid organisations have warned that an already extremely poor sanitation system has been totally overwhelmed by flooding. And that means the disease could spread much more quickly.
Survival of the fittest.
A very lucrative opportunity for companies from all over the world to grab the billions that were pledged for rebuilding.
But now, unless you're in a search and rescue team or a medical team, the best thing you can do is give money.
After the earthquake, countries around the world donate billions of dollars to help Haiti rebuild. Bill Clinton was in charge of that money. What did he do? He kept the money.
Give now, and lives will be saved. You can text Haiti at 2022, send a text message, $10 will be forwarded to it. We'll move that money in a hurry, but everybody, this is one of those things where $5 can make a difference.
A lot of tweets have been soliciting donations through text messages, but folks really have to be careful that they don't get conned here, because the worst people come out in the worst times.
And you know, what you did to help and the generosity of the American people, we have a text messaging system that the State Department set up. It's Haiti, H-A-I-T-I, to 90999. We've raised about $3 million for the Red Cross.
It took only a glance to see what the rains did to the largest camp in Port-au-Prince.
Estimates vary, but up to 200,000 people have lost their lives.
Please, if you can, contribute. $10 will be billed to your cell phone, and it's helping us get the food, the water, the medical supplies that we need.
The Clintons, Hillary Clinton, should be behind bars.
A relief effort that eventually raked in billions of dollars in relief aid, but as it turns out, very little of that money actually got to the poor people of Haiti.
Hillary Clinton had been the United States Secretary of State for about a year when a catastrophic 7.0 earthquake crisis rocked Haiti 16 miles west of Port-au-Prince. Somewhere between 160,000 to 316,000 Haitians died, while 2 million Haitians were displaced. The survivors cobbled together what they could, creating temporary communities as they waited for the world to help.
Not acceptable for the UN to be responding to its own responsibility for having caused the worst cholera epidemic in the world by not doing anything for the victims.
Nearly $13.5 billion in aid.
We are telling the world of the crimes that Bill and Hillary Clinton are responsible for in Haiti.
U.S. Ambassador Kenneth H. Merton wrote in a cable just 20 days after the catastrophic quake. Other companies are proposing their housing solutions or their land use planning ideas or other construction concepts. Each is vying for the ear of the president in a veritable free-for-all. The military logistics personnel intend to surge to around-the-clock operations until the offload is complete. The gold rush is on. And so a slew of corporations were slated to help rebuild Haiti under the U.S. Secretary of State's Interim Haiti Recovery Commission, overseen by none other than former U.S. President Bill Clinton. The IHRC approved over $330 million in projects funded by the U.S. government, including Northern Industrial Park, to accommodate 18,000 new jobs in garment, textile, and other fields by 2014. This industrial park actually brought only 10% of the jobs it promised. Port-au-Prince neighborhoods to upgrade and provide services to earthquake-affected neighborhoods, enabling displaced persons to return. According to Amnesty International, around 37,000 houses are known to have been repaired, rebuilt, or built. However, less than 20% of the housing solutions provided as a response to the disaster could be seen as long-term or sustainable. Instead, most programs have simply provided temporary measures such as the construction of temporary shelters and the allocation of rental subsidies. Initially, $53 million was spent to build 15,000 new homes, but this number morphed into $93 million for 2,600 homes, while $70 million was spent on building townhouses for the IHRC staff and roughly $20 million to build 2 soccer fields.